reasonable.
And it seems like hippie shit.
Now that cut in is the perfect start to the podcast.
I'd rather start that way.
So like, I appreciate you just taking the time to talk with me while you're in town. We can't obviously talk about the super secret project that you're here to work on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Can we? No, we can't. No, they said no. We can't.
How long has it been since you've been back in town?
Shh, they're going to recognize your voice. See, I knew you'd yell out questions or something.
Yeah, right. We're like literally not a minute in yet. And here we are. Like the yelling from the balcony has already begun. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I came down here because I haven't been here for 5 years.
Wow.
Since the 30th Lost Cross anniversary shows in 2016. It's a far drive from Chicago. It's very boring. I don't like it. I rarely come down here.
Like Barack Obama would say, there's corns, there's beans. That's, I don't know, it's his thing. Well, at least your parents didn't forget about you in the 5 years that you were gone.
No, they come up to Chicago because that's probably more fun.
Right?
And now my sister up there had a kid, and so now they have a grandchild up there. So they'll come up there. They have more reason to come up than just see me and my sister.
Yeah. Have they thought about like moving up there or anything?
No. They redid their house some years ago because they figured, yep, we're staying, and we'll just make this house very nice how we like it, and we'll just stay here.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad, he lived in Los Angeles most of his, until 1985, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 15 or 14, and I guess he just got sick of the city. He grew up there his whole life, and that's how I came out here.
So you weren't here until like high school?
Yeah. I started 9th grade in Carterville, and I think it was like 3,500 people lived in Carterville then.
Mm-hmm.
The junior high school I went to in Los Angeles was 2,500 people.
So
a little bit of a change.
Mm-hmm.
That I did not like it for, because punk rock was not what it is today, and people, it's still people think fucking freaks like it, and they do, but I got fucking picked on all the time. And, but it was kind of fun because those people, they would always fight after school. When I'd see, whatever, people at that high school, they'd get in some skirmish and whatever and during school times, and they're like, they go meet after school to fight. And not me, I'll fucking punch you right in the fucking middle of class. I don't care. 'Cause if I have to wait, I'm going to not be angry.
I want to express myself now.
Yes. It was. Why wait? I got other shit to do after school.
Right.
To hang out just to fight with you people.
Well, that's what they want to build their lives around, right? It's not so much the like you're like trying to do stuff. It's like, listen, man, we got this conflict. Let's get it out of the way and go.
Well, when I was in junior high, in Los Angeles, people would fight right there in class, when school, whatever, at lunch, whatever happened, they'd fight, and they'd go after school and fight again.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to do that, maybe, but just the one time after, no. I'm not going to waste my time. I think I only got...
And I don't think we're going to waste our time here either for episode 50 of the WTF Carbondale podcast. 50, it's a milestone. It's a milestone episode.
I turned 50 in March.
Oh, wow. That's even better. We're just bringing it all together with the guest, Patrick Houdek. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Houdek.
Houdek.
Pretend the U's not there.
Pretend the U is not there.
Houdek.
And I forgot the part where, it's the podcast where we interview interesting people about their interesting lives, tie all together this little place we call home, Carbondale, Illinois. And yeah, man, it's just, it's cool. I don't know. So did you pick up the punk rock thing in Los Angeles then? Like in the burgeoning days of the...
I mean, I think everybody feels that they were late, or they missed stuff,
Uh-huh.
and I did too. It was 1984 or something probably when I started listening to punk rock, and I would read Flipside magazine or whatever and think, oh, I missed all those bands, because they didn't last that long, and so yeah, but it was still full of violence and whatnot, and huge fucking shows that I still haven't ever seen like anything like it since, because it was like 4,000 people, and they a lot of times the security was just punk rock people that didn't really stop much violence from happening.
Just kind of let it go.
But I got into punk rock then and started hanging out at this record label, Mystic Records, and they had a studio in Hollywood. And then I stopped. I skipped school all the time and not go to school. And my dad had moved out here to teach at SIU, and my mom and dad were divorced, and I think they were gonna kind of give us a choice, me and my brother, if to stay in Los Angeles or live with my dad. But then when I kind of missed, I don't know, 40, 50 days of school in one semester, they're like, yeah, you're going to go live with your dad because we know there's nothing to do there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just walk past school and go to Hollywood.
Psych.
And like for the first year, yeah, it was fucking terrible because I didn't know anybody. I was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And then I met Mikey Snott and Chris Radinsky and James Ricks and stuff. And Lost Cross had just started. I think they had like 1 or 2 shows or something before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met them, and somehow, I don't know how, and I asked them, like, why? Because we lived in Carterville, and I couldn't drive, but they would let me stay over, like, they'd drop me off on Saturday or Friday and pick me up on Sunday. I'm like, it was fine with me, but I don't think anybody, they didn't know these people. They didn't even have a phone. You couldn't even call. They couldn't call me there if something happened. They needed. How do you let your 15-year-old kid go hang out with people in college? They're drunks. But I didn't drink or anything, so maybe. I guess they trusted me, and was good because then now I've known these people for 35 years, and all the problems I've had wasn't because of them.
Turns out they were like more of the better part to life,
Yeah.
and maybe not the problem.
Exactly.
So was that just it? Like you just met these guys and you started hanging out? And
Yeah, because there was nobody in Carterville that, was in any of this shit that I liked. And yeah, there was finally punk rock people I knew. And at the time too, I had a little cassette only label, and so I did that, but then when I started going to Lost Cross, I was able to get bands that I knew from Chicago or wherever to come play. So it kind of gave me, Los Angeles was bigger and stuff, and it's great, but I couldn't have been 15 years old and somebody let me book bands somewhere,
Yeah.
So it gave me an opportunity that I don't think I would have had anywhere, most other places.
It's interesting that you bring up that point. So there's a guy that I've had on the show before. He was like episode 3 or 4. His name's Mike Baltz. He's a ornithologist, and he like does radio pieces for WSIU and writes for the Southern Illinoisan and a handful of other things. And he was like, listen, I could not do these things in a larger metro market just because you're essentially priced out of the activity because there's so many people that are just like, this is what they do for their job, and like it's professionalism. There's not like a lot of space to be like, approachable to activity, anything from what you're talking about with recording and actually booking bands and doing some cool stuff like that, to creating media and getting it published on the radio or in a newspaper or what have you.
Yeah, that is, you have to start it somewhere small, and I think when I got into punk rock, there was no nobody thought anyone would make any money, you know, and I think stubborn me believes that you still don't need to, or whatever. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't do any of this shit because of money. If I did, I'd be poor. I'm poor anyway, but you know, I wouldn't, you know, there'd be no way to make a living
Yeah.
from what I do, but I don't care because it's not why I do it. I do it because I enjoy it. And, you know, like, I take photos of bands all the time, and punk rock has taught me that I can do anything. You know, it's not, you know, I put out a book last year, and I just did it myself, but where some people, I think, you know, if they can't find someone to do it for them, they will give up. But punk rock taught me that you can do anything, and why not? Why can't I just go have this printed somewhere or put out this record or anything, you know? You can do anything. You don't need other people to do it.
Like in the
Is there a
sense
question?
that you don't need like somebody to come in and like lay hands on it in a particular way. Like you need the community aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you don't need a publisher or a record label or, you know, I have tons of friends that, yeah, they have had books published or they have records put out by a record label, but they've also done it by themselves. And you can do the same thing, you know. But if you're trying to, I don't know, make it your career and, you know, make a living off of it, it's probably better to, you know, have somebody help pay a lot of those costs. But I don't care. I don't you know, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because for some reason I think that's what I have to do.
When did you pick up the camera? Like, has the camera always been like a part of?
I mean, I took photos, you know, occasionally, but not like seriously. The first band photo I have is from 1985, in a band at VOA in Glendale, California, in a cemetery. And then I took photos, like shows at Lost Cross, and when I'd go back to Los Angeles or something. And then in the 90s, I toured with bands and would go to Fireside Bowl. And occasionally I'd go out there and take photos, but I was way more into drinking, so I didn't, you know, it'd be occasionally. But then eventually, well, I don't know what year it was, like 15, 16 years ago, I stopped drinking. And for a while, I couldn't go to shows because I didn't care about the drinking anymore. It wasn't like I felt I would drink, but I didn't know what to do with my hands because I always had drinks on my hands. So this band I used to tour with, No Empathy, they did a reunion show for the record label they were on. The record label's 20th anniversary, Johann's Face. And I had a camera just because I had one, and I went and took photos, and I had fun doing it. And then I went to some other show, and this band Sass Dragons played, and the crowd was way into them, and the crowd, it was a lot of fun, and I thought I got good photos. And I'm like, oh, this is what I can do. I can take photos of bands, and it gave me a way to go back and go to shows all the time. Because it was a couple years that I rarely went to shows. And, you know, music, I've listened to music forever, and I miss that. And it turns out I'm good at taking photos of bands. Better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I just continue to do it, you know?
Do you, like, and I'm not, I don't have any sort of artistic bone in my body. Like, my thing is speech. That's what I get down with, right? Anything, that's why I do stand-up comedy and like to do interviews and stuff like that. So was there anything that you kind of drew on, like getting into, using photography as your replacement for a beer in your hand? Or did you just like pick it up and this happened to be what you put out, and then that was like, okay, this is my defining characteristic of how I shoot?
I think, well, now thinking about it a little bit, also what helped me wanted to take, I looked at my photographs and I liked, I thought they were okay, they were decent enough. And, you know, in like the 80s and stuff, if you look back, there are a lot of shitty fucking photos. But some of them are like the legendary photos because it's the only photos.
Yeah.
You know, and even now, you know, people have phones on their cameras on their phones and shit, and people take photos all the time, everywhere. But I don't think in 20 years that we're going to see those photos again. And I, you know, think that I thought that I can take decent enough photos that maybe not at the time, maybe not, you know, everyone's going to see them, but 20 years from now, you look back and they're better photos than when you look back at the 80s or something, you know, where, because it was harder because it's film and no one, you know, it costs a lot more money. But I think, yeah, I could do that. And yeah.
Well, it seems like you still have an interest in producing a memory as opposed to capturing content.
Yeah, I mean, also what I've done too is I used to like post a bunch of photos. You know, one thing I learned, the best thing I learned early on from my ex-wife was that edit. Don't fucking put so many goddamn photos out there because nobody gives a shit about your shitty ones, or, you know, only pick the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, because I even, like, now I don't look at anybody else's photos because I don't want to be influenced by other people. I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything new, really.
Yeah.
But at least it's just, I've thought about it, probably, or, you know, I'm sure I'm influenced by other things, but I'm not looking at other people's things going, I want to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to come up with things on my own. But so now, like, I don't put out as much stuff because now I care less. You know, I think also it's this like social media stuff where people want to get, you know, have their shit liked or whatever.
Who was in your MySpace top 8, bro?
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I'm so sorry, Patrick.
But I like, so much of it is just bullshit. It's nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Not saying other people's whatever. If it's important to them, it is. That's fine. I don't give a fuck, but I don't want to be part of it. I go on Facebook occasionally and Instagram, you know, if I don't know, have something to sell or something, but I'll post something and then I don't go back to look at it. I don't care if anybody liked it, because I don't want that to be what drives me. I want to do it still because I like to take the photos and I like the way they look. I'm colorblind or color deficient, and a lot of people are shocked when they find that out because I take color photos and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and sometimes people will say the thing of whatever, they have contacts or something that you can make so you see regular colors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but what if I don't like my photos? I don't care enough that, I mean, people like my photos, but I don't care enough even if they don't like them, you know? If people don't like it, I don't care. I'm still going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
I find, you know, it gives me something to do.
But is that like, I don't know, the driven independence from the influence of others outside of you saying, this is what I like and this is what I want to engage in? Is that, you know, kind of the core tenet of punk rock that drives just the activity that you do that you like to do?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck punk rock is now. I mean, fucking records cost $30 or $25, and kids that, you know, and it's terrible, but, you know, sometimes it's that thing of you want people to like the shit you like, but then you don't want too many people to like it because then it doesn't feel as special to you. You know, it's like, oh, great, now everybody likes that band. Whereas before, you tell somebody and they might hear it and go, oh my God, why didn't I ever hear of this band?
Yeah.
But then when everybody likes it, it's not as fun. Like, yeah, but also I still listen to the same fucking bands I did 35 years ago. I was listening to Void yesterday. No, today too. Because the Faith Void album, I don't know if you ever heard
I
that
don't.
band.
I'm not
They're
really a
on,
music guy, man. I'm
it's
sorry.
Discord. It's on Discord Records. The Faith side is, I don't know, probably heard it like twice. And I've had it since 1985. And I've listened to that Void thing 5,000 times. I don't know. It's the best thing Discord Records ever put out. My friend Adam, he's doing some kind of Carbondale. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's the archives. He's putting together some kind of archive of Southern Illinois music or music from Southern Illinois.
I cut a video with him and Gary Jabula. Adam.
Well, so Ian MacKay from Discord and Minor Threat and that Fugazi band. I don't like them, but he talked to
You
him
don't like
because
Fugazi?
No, they're fucking boring. They've got like 2 songs that are okay. I can't. I hate fucking Fugazi. Oh, terrible. I hated them way back then when they were new. But so he talked to Ian because they're both archiving their fucking music shit, and I told him to tell Ian that the Void thing is the best thing Discord ever put out, and I don't think he did it. I didn't. Yeah, I know you didn't.
All right. Well, here's the deal. While he's the subject of discussion here, he sent me a handful of like topics to touch on.
All right.
And we're gonna pull some things out of this. All right. So, Thrasher's Digest.
Yes.
What is it? When did you start it?
So James Rick.
So, God, is everything gonna come back to James Ricks, Patrick?
Yes. He was in this band called Bloodstained Tool. I don't know. Yeah. What about? Well, it was a fanzine I put out, and it started. I did a couple in Los Angeles, and then now I'm on no one else's time schedule. I don't give a fuck. I don't know how many I put out, but it wasn't a lot. But I would sometimes go a couple years without doing. And what you want to hear the story about it in Carterville? He didn't say anything. I just pretend.
I mean, it's he's got it in text messages here, so you're at least telepathically you're picking it up in the room.
So I put out one issue when I was at Carterville High School, and there's obscenities, whatnot. Diet Christ, I don't know, the fucking religious fucking people out there. They don't like that shit, and I think the principal or somebody came and told me that I was not allowed to sell it or give it away at school because they were very offended because Diet Christ talked about circle jerks and coming on crackers and eating it. I don't know. All right, maybe we should edit that out.
No, it's there. It's too late.
I don't know. They said it.
Listen, man, it's a real conversation about real shit.
I think they were saying about other people doing it, but I don't know.
Anyway.
And see, that's the people that my parents let me go hang out with.
And they're still proud of the person that you've become to this day.
That's right. And actually, a better one was when I was in junior high. It was some kind of English class, and it was supposed to be, like creative writing or whatever. And I had a fanzine then, and I gave that to the teacher, and she was shocked because whatever,
you produce
fucks
quality
and
work.
shit, whatever language in there.
Oh,
and she called my mom and wanted to have a conference, talk to her. And my mom came down and was like, so what? He fucking made this on his own, not even actually for your class. He made it on his own because he wanted to. And so what if everybody knows everyone knows that the word fuck, who cares? And then that teacher was like, so fucking scared of me or something. I don't know. She was like nervous and shake when I was around because she knew,
that your parents were okay with you using curse words.
I mean, what other, not a lot of kids go make shit on their own,
I mean, the fact that you were even like trying to share it with a teacher and be like, hey,
Yeah.
like, hey, I made this on my own outside of class.
Yes.
Like, I think it's important, and you're
said
you're an
creative
influence.
writing.
Yeah.
Tell me who else in this class did this. That one had the interview with the band Butt Acne. Maybe she was offended by that one.
So
'Cause
Thrasher.
they had a song about fucking dogs, so.
Fair. Jesus Christ.
Hey,
so
watch it with that, Jesus Christ.
so Thrasher's Digest was like an every now and then like just thing. Like sometimes it was frequent, sometimes it was infrequent.
Yeah.
What was the last one that you like? What was the very last one that you did? Like how long ago was that?
Oh, I don't know, like 80s? Late, like, yeah, 89, 90? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
What do you what are you like sentimental about? Like, what are the things that you hold on to? Like, are you like, do you hold on to everything, or are there only like a few like certain things that you hold on to,
pile
or
of fucking shit all over that no one will ever care about? I don't know. Maybe Adam. I'll give it to Adam.
let him spend the rest of his life in the basement trying to catalog shit.
Well, he's already doing that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I mean, you kind of answer the question and being like, yeah, I keep everything.
Well, like, I do. I mean, like, well, I don't read as many magazines. There's not as many magazines I like anymore, but like I have. But I also get to points where I stop. But like I had Maxim Rock and Roll from like, I don't know, some late teens, you know, like number 18 or something, to 150. You know, I had every single one, and I don't know. Then I got tired of it, but I still have them all. You know, and then like I have weird pieces of paper, the things that I remember. Like I mean, I have photos of shit, but that's not what I remember more from. I remember I have a note, like we went to Las Vegas once, and it was something Las Vegas Shakedown or something, a bunch of bands. And a friend of mine, she didn't feel well, and we all went out, I don't know, gambling, drinking, eating whatever, dinner or something. Come back to the hotel room, and so there's a note that says, "Don't panic. I just had to go to the emergency room."
Yeah, no panic.
And this is before everyone had cell phones, so we can't call her. I don't know where she is. She's in Las Vegas. But so that little piece of paper, that little note, that reminds me more of, you know, that brings back my memories more than other stuff, you know? So that's why I'm saying I've got a bunch of shit no one will ever care about, because they don't even know, you know, that note doesn't mean anything to anybody.
But I mean, it's like in terms of the core tenets of your story, and your story is part of a much larger story, and like what are the collection of stories along the storyline that make up the mass that is you know, this particular chunk of culture in American life, right? Because I mean, I would say would it be safe to say that you're kind of interwoven as you know, kind of a minor to middle character in the existence of punk rock in
Punk, very small part of punk rock in certain little patches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you get to own that, man. Like that's yours to have been a part of. Or still be part of? I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to pump you up right now. I'm trying to
I don't care. What if I don't know why you're interviewing me.
No, I mean this is the shit that interests me, man. Like this is like, it's cool, and like doing kind of like the deep dive and looking into this stuff too, and being like, okay, well, what, you know, and we like, you've really, like, you're letting out the motivators on it, right? And it's like, yeah, I just like this shit. Like it makes me happy, and it's the life that I live.
Yeah, I do like going to the bar. I don't drink, but I don't know. I have a lot of crap that no one will ever like, or I don't know. I'm kind of dry. I don't know what to say right now. I think I do need water now. All right, go give me water.
Yeah, chop. Adam said you work for Playboy.
I did work for Playboy. I'm not going to smoke this. I'm just going to put it in my mouth.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I mean, can I smoke it? It's part of my show.
You're trying to get by on the creative license. All right.
Yes, because isn't that part of the thing? I remember Doug Stanhope had a show, I don't know, it was on HBO or Showtime, and in New York, and he could smoke because it's part of his show.
Yeah.
And nobody else could smoke. Can I do that here? Is that allowed here? No.
Sorry, buddy.
I know. Wait, what was the last thing you said?
Oh, Playboy.
Oh, Playboy. Yes, I worked at Playboy. Right before that, I worked at Touch and Go Records at a time that I did not like any of the bands on Touch and Go Records. But I did like, I still think, they don't really put out much new stuff anymore, but Corey Rusk had, he split profits 50-50 with all the bands. And I think, he ran his business, very great ethics, and he got older and liked shitty music, and put out crappy bands, but that a lot of other people liked it, just not me. I don't know. I didn't like it, but there's still a small record label, and I need to make, I like money. I like to not have to worry about, if I can pay my rent or, go out and do whatever.
Did you have to when you first moved to Chicago, was that part of an issue where you just I'm a broke kid in Chicago trying to do the thing? I don't know. When did you move to Chicago?
No, I moved to Chicago in 1997.
Okay.
Before that, I toured a lot with bands like No Empathy and stuff, and Traders, and started going, but I lived in California, and I would go out and go on tour, and then I'd be there more often, and I really liked it, and so I stayed. It wasn't really, I never it never got to the point of I couldn't pay rent, but I just wanted to make some more money that I could then, I don't know, buy shit or whatever, not have to worry or, worry so much about money. So I quit, and then some other people I knew from Touch and Go had quit, and they had gotten jobs at Playboy. And then there was an opening in the law department, and I interviewed, and I don't know how I fucking said it. Was I was there for 3-hour interview.
Are you a lawyer too?
No.
It was just the law department.
Yes.
Okay.
No, my father was, he was director of the law school library, and I can't remember what his last title was when he retired. I know one time he was the interim dean, and his mother, my grandmother, she was a paralegal, but no. I actually didn't even finish college. I went to SIU for 2 years, and I didn't finish. But, no, I worked for the general counsel of Playboy. I was an executive assistant, and I was there 13 years, and it was the best fucking job I ever had. It was very interesting, but I think it was the people I worked with I liked, and they, my boss he trusted you to, as long as you did your work, I mean, if you didn't do it, you weren't going to last, but he didn't care what you really did. And I was in the law department, and there were times that I had a mohawk and stuff, and most places that you're in the legal department, you're not, you don't have a mohawk. But that's, I liked it because that he was, he didn't give a fuck. He was like, you do your work, whatever. You can look whatever you want. Your desk is a fucking mess.
What took you away after 13 years?
Oh, Playboy closed. The Chicago office.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Playboy,
Is Playboy still going? I don't know. I don't follow.
I think they stopped publishing the magazine.
Okay.
Well, I know they only published. Well, they published it at least up till Hefner's death, because he did work on that magazine his whole life, or even when he was older, he still worked on it. And I think that was part of they were a public company, and Hefner partnered with some people, and they bought out everybody and made it a private company.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And part of the deal was that they continued to publish the magazine, and he got to live in the mansion until he died. And they even sold it before he died, but that person, knew they couldn't move in until he died.
That's an interesting proposition. Hey.
I mean, you'd think, he lived to, I don't know, what was he, fucking 93 years old or something,
mm-hmm.
and was, that show. What was the show? Girls Next Door. He looked like a fucking mess on that show. He wore that captain's hat and he looked like he was shaking all the time, and he looked like a big mess. Well, of course, you're gonna buy that thing. You think he's gonna die any day. It lasted a lot longer, I think, than most people thought. But yeah, no, it was a good job, and I, got to go to Mardi Gras and get free drinks all weekend. So that's good.
Nice.
But no, they closed, and so I even worked. Our department was part of the whole thing that working with the other company and Hefner's the people Hefner partnered with. While doing it, we knew if the thing went through, we were all going to lose our jobs.
Yeah,
and it sucked, but that's right. You got to do your job, whatever. If it means you're not going to have a job, not doing it's not going to keep your job. He's just going to fire you and get somebody else to fucking do it.
Like, enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah, and yeah. And now, knowing that I will probably never work with people like that again,
mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to find that. It's like, that was it. It was a great job. It's never going to happen that way again. But now the job I have, I don't make as much money or whatever, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. And
I'd rather do that than work just to make more money and be unhappy, But at Playboy, I made a lot of money, but I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
But most places are not like, even other departments at Playboy were not like my work situation, And I wouldn't want to do something that I didn't like. Well, I mean, what's the fucking point?
What was the wackiest thing that ever came through that office? Like, if it's the office of general counsel for Playboy, I feel like there had to be some. Or by that time,
did you have a suggestion?
Do what? No. This
Okay.
one's on me.
I
I
was just saying that maybe if I had told him something and then I just
and it
remember.
spurred his mind. He was like,
Okay.
"Oh yeah, no, do this."
Well, actually, this is not. It's kind of creepy. There was we had a file, like security and stuff, and there was somebody murdered in Los Angeles, and the police department, contacted Playboy because there was a Playboy left near the scene, and he posed the woman just like
Whoa.
the centerfold.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. But and then I don't know how old you are.
I'm
How
31.
What?
I'm 31.
Oh God, you're fucking young. Yeah, we were like 11 or 10 when 9/11 happened, right?
Yeah. No, I was in like seventh grade.
You had nothing. You weren't worried about. Because I have friends, who are younger that were like, "Oh shit, is there gonna be a fucking draft? Or are we gonna have to go to the war and blah blah?"
Yeah.
And I remember that day, and we were at work, and by the time I got out of work, there was nobody. Everyone went home. And there was a grocery store underneath, down at the bottom of our building, and people were buying food. I'm like, I don't think anything's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
Because once it's all over the news like that, now is probably the safest time to go fly or whatever. I mean, you couldn't fly right then, but my concern was, what if the stores are closed? I better buy a lot of cigarettes. And I did. I bought like 4 or 5 packs for it. But wait, what was I saying? 9/11.
We were.
So everybody was afraid to open the mail because of the anthrax scare.
Yeah.
I don't know, and they gave it.
So was your job opening the mail? Were you like,
I was
fuck
like,
it, I'm here.
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. What is it? I'm like, because we had a mail department. It wasn't like I got the mail out of a box. And,
Yeah.
And I'm like, the post office, we got some weird shit, whatever, at work anyway.
Oh,
and
God.
so with the mail department, we'll check it first. And if, whatever, I'll throw it on the ground. Nothing ever happened. But there was another. This I wasn't there for, and I only read it in a file. Somebody actually sent a dead animal there once. That was, and I figured, all right, that happened. They're not going to. But I think it actually got past the mailroom that time.
Oof.
And I think there were probably some changes there where they're like, you got to check this shit.
Yeah, like no more dead animals being sent up to the top of the floor.
I don't know.
The
Sometimes
top
people,
of the building.
people think they're no one's doing shit like that. I mean, they did, but now it just made me think of how people think about all our phones and stuff, and people listening to us or whatever. And they might be. They probably are listening to everything, but they're not listening specifically to anybody, or anybody I know.
Yeah.
Like, none of us are important enough. None of us do anything that is gonna, the FBI is gonna listen to me. Who fucking cares? Nobody cares. We're very small in this world. We really are. You got. I mean, and yeah. And we actually just don't we sign off on letting everybody listen to us on our phones?
Yeah.
So.
You don't spend enough time on Facebook probably to notice when you talk about specific products that Facebook's like, hey, heard you talking about these particular products. Would you like some advertisements for them?
I know. I don't see that because I hate it. No.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
But
It's very real.
Google does it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything now, I think I first noticed voice recognition. I feel like I've told this story before on the podcast. Like 2014. Traveling out to Vegas, and we were by the Hoover Dam, my buddy and I,
You drove? Oh my god!
Yeah. I flew out to Colorado, met up with a buddy. That buddy, we drove from Colorado to.
Yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, much more manageable, not from here to there.
Yeah.
And the I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like, we were talking about something. We pull up to the Hoover Dam, and then we're parking and stuff, and I pull out my phone and go to change shoes or something, and poof, there it was, the objects we were discussing, and I had never keyed into my phone, where all of a sudden they're in front of me, and it's like, this is terrifying.
But I do need that. No.
Yeah, right. I could use that right now, but. Also, I don't know if the fear and the doom that I feel clouded over my my existence right now is applicable. Okay, let's see what the other things we've got here.
I got to think about the listening though.
Yeah, keep going.
I think so. I have one of those Echo Dot things.
Yeah,
Alexa. I don't really use it, but I have it hooked up. I use it occasionally to. Have a little alarm, to wake me up from a nap or something. Or, and then I bought something and it came with those free plug, little Wi-Fi plug smart, goes Alexa. So I have it turn on and off a lamp. That's all I use it for. And it's kind of next to my TV, but behind some stuff, little knickknacks and shit.
Yeah.
And then one day I was and I had the TV on, it was the news or whatever, and a lot of times I just have it on just as background noise. I after 10 o'clock or whatever, so I don't want to play music too loud in my apartment building, so I just turn the TV on as background. And then one day though, I noticed whenever you say Alexa, blah blah blah,
yeah,
it lights up. And then I noticed it was lit up, and I remembered that it asked at one point if it could learn my voice or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Alexa thinks I'm the TV people because I'm not talking. I live alone, and I wasn't talking, but it was doing something. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess it knows.
Right.
So what is that? I mean, is it not going to listen to me? Will she not answer?
Or is it just going to listen to everything?
Probably.
Yeah. Probably the latter. I'm just saying.
It will probably listen when somebody on TV says to order something, because they'll then send it to me.
Well, for a little while there, that was the gig, was the late night show host or Saturday Night Live or something else would happen, and they'd be like, "Hey Alexa, play this," and like that was the whole thing, that like the TV, like the advert, like not even advertisement, just like the break in from whatever shows that were trying to like influence media participation, were like trying to trigger your in-home devices to like force feed you, like Saturday Night Live legitimately I think would, for a while, and they may still do it, I don't know, but like at the end of their musical performance, like the first one before they do, the second one, obviously they cut to the end screen with everybody on stage, but after the second one, it's like, tell your something something to play Machine Gun Kelly. It's like, no, stop that.
Could you use that in a song that then if they're playing it through in a house that has Alexa or Google or Siri, that you could tell it and then say, I don't know, say to repeat the song?
Yeah.
And then it would just continue to play that song forever?
Maybe you have
Let's
a song called Hey Alexa, and just the end of the song, like you sing all the way through the song, and then at the end of the song, they just say, "Hey Alexa, play this song again." And I don't know. That was my attempt to be a.
Hey, I was trying the other day to get the Alexa thing we have at work to play Motorhead the whole weekend while I was gone. While no one was there. Mm-hmm. Very loud. But I don't know. And one of my coworkers, it was kind of loud. And I don't know. She thought I should stop it. And I said, it's fine. And then I stopped it. I'm going to do that when I get back to work.
There you go.
I'm going to make Alexa play Motorhead while no one's there all the time. Maybe I could. I don't know. I'll look it up later.
Do you just like, are you like always messing with your coworkers?
A little bit.
Sometimes not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could say my boss that because it'd be funny. He keeps finding, so there's all these, for whatever reason, we have lighters, right, that we made for people and they were extras or whatever, And so there were a bunch of like we made extras that way if we lost them, whatever, or maybe we made them so we could take them. No, but he keeps finding them in his pocket, which I do too because I take a bunch, so I always have a lighter. And he's like, but I keep finding them on my desk. And so I'm like, I'm going to start leaving them on his desk. So every time he goes home, I take one of the lighters that I have, the same kind of his, and I leave it there. So, and then I've been doing it, a couple times during the day. So he hasn't said anything because he already was pulling more out of his pocket all the time. But eventually I think, it'll come to the point where he will ask why is someone leaving more? And yes, Joe, I am.
I mean, it's better than having the opposite issue where you don't have enough lighters.
Well, that's the thing. There's always lighters there.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, no, I want to smoke after all this talk about lighters and.
You got like 12 more minutes. Tough it out. Tough it out, Patrick.
Okay.
I usually I benchmark these around an hour, like give or take. That's kind of where we land. I figure that's about like as digestible as a chunk of content as people can get. Like if people can watch Joe Rogan talk to somebody for 30 minutes for 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, that's like what he does.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't watch bands more than 25, 30 minutes. Bands should not play longer than that. Just know that.
So were you like? Is that okay? So I'm gonna cycle back to these two things that are House of Voodoo and 611 Pizza at some point in time, because that is again part of my notes from Adam. But where was I going with this? Where were we just at right before I like tried to trip off into that component? Oh, no, yeah, band. So like, did you like? Have you? Like that's been part of the work that you've done as well, is like being a promoter, being like helping to run shows. Like what all have you done in the actual show running aspect of music? Like how much time do you have?
No, I have I've known a lot of people in bands, and I've booked bands, or I've told people, that they should book a band, or told bands who to go talk to, and I've taken money at the door. paid bands. I've gone on tour with bands. At Voodoo, lit up fireworks in the basement. Well, oh, you know what? Lost Cross, obviously. You ever go to shows there?
I've been to a handful. I didn't spend a whole lot of time.
It's a terrible place to see shows. It's terrible. You can't see shit. It's fucking. Actually, I don't know. They tell me that they've done some work in there, but I haven't been in there. But for the fucking first 30 years, it sucked because it's terrible. There's those pillars, and can you see anything? No, you can't. But for some reason, people want to fucking play there. Some comedian guy, that woman, the daughter Smith, and why? It's terrible. No, maybe sometimes, but even when there's other places they want to play there, it's a terrible place. 35th anniversary this September.
Boom, plugged.
How did I just turn that fucking light on?
Is it in Lost Cross is legitimately like the oldest punk house in America?
Yes, it is. I don't know. I don't know of any other ones that's been this long. Because other places, not even if they've been around a long time, sometimes they move. You know, like someone just uses the name somewhere else. That's fine. That doesn't count.
No, it does
You
not.
got to start over. You got to start your count over. Because, you can't just keep moving and keep the same name. You're not a business. You're a fucking house. I think it is. Probably because the address thing, right? Address? I know. It's not like everybody doesn't know where it is anyway. But also they don't sell booze like stupid fucking houses that do, and they get busted because the underage kids drinking. Of course you're going to get busted.
Yeah.
Cops love to bust underage kids drinking. Taking their beer. Drinking it on their own at home. Put those kids in jail. Wouldn't you? I would. Yeah, it is, and I'm happy that it's still there. But if you think about actually watching a band and listening to them play and seeing them play, it's a terrible place. Like 5 people can see them, and if I'm there, I don't know, I just shove my way in front of everybody, and then there's 4 people that can see. 'Cause I just stand up there and take photos, and then never let you see them. But I don't know. Supposedly, the guy over there, Adam, wants to do some book. What about 611 Pizza? They had bands play, and I was underage when that started, and I don't know why anybody fucking marked me underage, but then I never paid to get in. I just walked in. And somebody stamped me as 21, and then the owner, Sam, over there was like, "Oh, you're 21," because he saw a stamp on my hand. And he's like, "Oh, I'll get you beer." And I was like 18, and so that was nice, because then I could drink and not even have to worry about it. But 611 was good. I don't know if Nirvana ever played there or not. No one's sure. Malcolm said he saw them, but what was the thing on the?
Are we still on this like Nirvana did or didn't
Well,
play
we
in
were looking at
Carbondale?
old flyers the other day. What was the name of that band? What was it? Remember? There was something on that pile of flyers he had. It was like Sharvana. I don't know. Like maybe that's what he saw. Maybe that's what. Put that out there and tell people that's what the name they played under. What did he say? It was a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah, they are. Fucking Mudhoney was better.
611 was where shows happened.
Oh, that's right. 611 is a lot. Bands played. Bands canceled. Who played there? Rednecks in Pain, Immoral Minority, all the big ones.
Neurosis.
Oh, that's right. Neurosis played there.
I mean, there were a lot of bands. That was a steady venue.
Yeah, I was there for that interview, but then I didn't go see them play. Mr. T Experience, remember? Didn't I say that on the interview? I got to go home. I was in high school. It made a great excuse to not have to see bands I didn't want to see. Like now, I will often tell bands, I got to work in the morning. It's late. Oh, fuck. Now bands are gonna know that I'm just lying when I tell them that.
Dude, there's nobody in any band that you're ever gonna see that's gonna watch this all the way through to 55 minutes and
All right.
2 seconds.
So I just make shit up and say, "Oh, I gotta be at work really early tomorrow." I love your band. I'll make sure to tell me. Just hit me up on Facebook. I'll come. Then I never look at Facebook. So
hit me
it's
up on
all-
Facebook. There you go. That's
like,
it.
what?
That seals
You-
the deal.
Facebook? Who told you that? I don't look at Facebook. When's the last time I posted? Never. Yeah. So hopefully they won't make this far and they won't know that. It's all right. I don't like any bands. Most of them suck. Void is good. Ooh, you want to hear them? Let me play that.
No, you're gonna get it taken down.
Oh,
you're gonna get the whole
come
thing.
on.
Copyright, man.
The other day, a couple weeks ago, Liars Club, we got kicked off. They were doing a thing for Herb's birthday. Kicked off YouTube 3 times. Just got right back on. Did it again.
Dude, I've had that. So for our
Nobody knows Void.
Google's
You
algorithm
call
does.
Ian, your friend Ian, and tell him
Can we?
to get us permission to play Void on
we're
this
gonna
show.
we're gonna get through. Fine, play it, Patrick. We're not gonna.
Nobody wants to hear from your iPhone.
Well, he spoke. Can you play it real? Later?
Oh, it'll just automatically mute it on Facebook or something.
All right.
I don't know. We'll just play it. I'm serious.
Look
You're
up
good.
Void. Who are you?
Oh, you want me to play it? No, man. I'm not. I can't. I
But
mean,
he's right.
Ah.
He's right. No one's.
Play Carbondale? No.
No. I don't know if they ever played us. I mean, they played New York, but I think that.
Discord bands played Carbondale.
What?
Did Discord bands come to Carbondale in the 90s?
Fugazi?
Besides that.
Probably not.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know who the fuck's.
Just wondering. Just a question.
Is there anything that we're missing, Adam? Is there like something that I haven't touched on this interview that you're like,
All incriminating.
yeah, not the incriminating stuff. That's
Well,
okay.
What? I'll talk about it. I don't know. What? I like drugs and alcohol. So what?
That was CKY.
What? Well, what?
Didn't you hang out with CKY?
I hung out with Rake, Jan.
Peter Margera, the jackass dude?
Yeah, I was over there in Westchester.
Yeah.
What? Doing cocaine? Yes. And that BAM guy was riding around in a Lamborghini that he bought, whatever, I don't know. And I don't. It was weird though because we went to the Warped Tour, and then Rake and Brandon they asked if I could get them on the guest list. I'm like, this is in Pennsylvania. You guys are fucking huge. What are you, blind? As I'm getting the free tickets, for us that on the guest list, people are interviewing them. Somehow there's a big video camera. People are interviewing them. I'm like, why are you asking me to get you on the list? You should get us on the list. And then the other guy died, and then he's all sad, and then blah, blah, blah.
Ooh.
Right? Did anyone hear that? No.
Yeah. I mean, that was.
Yeah, when Rake's he's a scientist or something smart. But he came to Chicago once, and we went to Delilah's. That's it.
And that's the story.
Well, that was all in Chicago, but we did do drugs in Westchester.
I hadn't even noticed this yet. At like 12 minutes ago, Adam was like, ask him about 611 pizza. It's like, bro, I was getting there. He was like really driving home the 611 pizza stuff.
Oh, wait, hold on. Where is this thing? God damn it. I don't understand this phone.
Undocumented part of Carbondale music history.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Is that
I put out a video. Why don't you fucking...
No, I haven't.
I know.
was that in the basement there under?
No. It's the top. Now I'll be remembered for this fireside bullshit. I
Yeah.
make
Okay.
shirts.
That was the other thing.
Hey, that was it. All I did was drink there. I didn't do shit there except get fucked up. And then I took some photos, and this was on the last night before Peterson stopped having shows there. And it took me, 12, 13, 14 years And I finally made shirts, and I sold a fuckload of them. And now probably that's what everyone. Oh, you're the guy that did the fireside shirts. And that's what I'll be remembered for. Or I don't know, Lost Cross. I didn't do shit at Lost Cross, did I?
Do you care if you're remembered?
No, I'll
Perfect.
be dead. I mean, I would like going back to the photography shit. I know I take good photos. I try not to be all I take great photos, but I do, and I want them. I hope that those will live on. Like they won't just disappear. I gave a Razor Cake magazine in California. I think it was 2 years ago. I gave them pretty much like all the photos I've taken up till that time to, I don't know, have and do whatever. Because if they ever need stuff, I always let them use it for free. And hopefully they'll, I don't know, archive them, do something, keep them so other people will see them someday. I'd like that. But, I don't know. If it happens, it happens. If not, I won't know about it.
Be like every other.
And actually kind of, I'd rather, if someone I know would take them and if they could make money doing it, sell the shit or something, I don't know. That'd be good too. For them. Wouldn't help me any, but be dead. But I think I have a feeling I'll be remembered a little bit by some people, or not because they're drunk. Oh, I need a cigarette really bad.
All right, cool. Well, you have made it.
Oh,
my
I thought you meant I
friend.
could smoke right here.
That's episode 50 of the WTF Carbondale
See, I'm
podcast.
old and I can't fucking make it. No.
Like I just want to get out of here.
I'm 50.
Which is perfect.
It's weird. It's
Milestone
weird saying that. It's only
episode.
been a month. It's kind of weird hearing that. You don't know. You're very young.
I don't
But you
know.
probably you probably felt that way at 30, but it's way different. So yeah, you don't look forward to it. It's no fun.
I don't, man. We could all just
It
turn
doesn't
back
get
time.
easier.
Everybody's like 50 is the new 40, and
No,
it's not.
I'll tell you after.
Episode 50 of the WTF Carbondale podcast. Patrick Houdek. Have a good one, folks.
Thank
Whatever
you.
that one may be.